Hello guys, how are you today? My name is Abdul Ahwan from Indonesia and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this section, we are going to continue our playlist about UI design best practice. And in this video, we are going to try designing money management app with Flutter. So let's get started. First of all, I want to say sorry for my English is not good, so if the word I use are incorrect, please help me to point out. So, as we can see, this is money management app that we want to design with Flutter. And this designed by Innovation Graphics. If you want to download this design, link in the description below. First thing first, we have to download the project starter code, link in the description below. If we are ready, let's open with our favorite IDE. So this is our project starter code, and as usual, I have provided like assets file and then constant and models. And let's open main.dart, and as we can see, this kind of like the Flutter project starter code. And right now we have to delete all code inside that. Alright, and then we have to create stateless widget and rename it as my app, and for my app we have to return material app, and inside this material app we can call debug so checked mode as usual, and the second one is home, and for the home we set to home screen. So we see warning because we haven't yet created this home screen. So right click here and create new package. We name it as screens, and inside this screens directory, we have to create new .dat file. We name it as home screen, and inside this home screen, we have to create new stateful widget. And for the name, we name it as home screen. And the next step, we have to import material class. We back to our main.dart and we have to import our home screen. And let's close main.dart and we open home screen. And for our home screen, we can return scaffold widget. But before that, we have to add dependencies to our project. So let's open pubspec.yml. So let's go to dependencies. And right here, we can call dependencies that we want to use in this project. The first one is Flutter SVG. And the second one is Google Fonts. And the next step, we have to declare our assets in pubspec.yml. So we scroll to this and we see, and below this, we say assets and then assets folder, image folder, and the second one is assets, SVG folder, and we have to press pubget. So we see error, so we have to use this. Alright, as we can see, process finished with exit code 0. And let's close this and we back to our home screen. And inside this scaffold widget, the first properties that we can call is body. And for our body, we can use container because we want to place all content inside our container and we want to make it to be the whole screen. Alright. And inside this container, we can call like margin. And for the margin, we set only top 8. So let's see the design. So we have to add margin right here. And the next one is tile. And for our tile, we use list view. Why we use list view? Let's see. Because I want to place all content to be list view. So I want to separate this to be first section, second, third, and fourth. So if we use list view, we can call children. It means that we can place many widgets inside that. And the other properties is basic, and we use clamping scroll basic. And inside this children, we can call many widgets inside that. So the first widget is, let's say, container. So let's see this. And for our container, we can call like margin. And for the margin, only left 16 and then right 16 again. And for the tile, we use row widget because inside our container, we want to place two widgets. the first widget is for our drawer and the second widget is for our user pictures. So inside this row widget, we can call children, and inside this children, the first one is svg picture.assets, and we call our assets right here. And let's run our app. Alright, so as we can see, we have drawer icon, and I think we can add margin top 16. Alright, and I think to make our code to be more readable, we can add comment right here. Let's say, I think custom app bar, and again, we add another widget. I think we can add like user picture, and for that, we use container again. And inside our container, we can set like height, and for the height 59, and for the width 59. And for the decoration, we use box decoration. And inside this box decoration, we can call like border radius. And for the border radius, we use border radius circular. And for that, we use 20. Because as we can see, this like a rounded user image. Alright. And the other one is image, and for the image we use decoration image, and inside this decoration image we can call assets image, and for that we can call our assets, which is user image. And now we see our user image, and as we can see, this kind of like align left and this align right. So we can go to our row widget, and inside that we can say like main axis alignment, we use space between. Alright, and if we want to make it clickable, we can wrap our SVG picture with gesture detector, and inside that we can use like on tab, and let's say print drawer tab, and when we press this, it will say drawer tab. Alright. And if we want to navigate to another screen, we can set right here, navigator push to our screen. Alright. And again, below of our custom app bar, we use like, let's say this kind of like section 1, section 2, and section 3. And for the section 1, the first widget is text widget. Text widget again, and then this kind of like horizontal list view. Alright, so below of our container, right here, give comma, and then give comment right here. Let's say cut section, and for that, so we see like a little margin. So we use size box right here, and for that we use height, and for the height 25, and below this we use column widget, and inside this column widget we can set like children, and inside this children we can call text widget. And we can say right here, good morning, and we see. And the next is text widget again, good morning, and the next is Amanda. Alright, so we can set right here for the column, cross-axis alignment, we set it to be star. Alright, and we can wrap our column with padding. And for that, we can use like only left 16. Alright, and for the bottom, we set it to 16 again. Alright, and for our text widget, we can set like style, and we use Google font, and we use Inter, and for the size, we set it to 18, and for the font weight, we set it to 500, and for the color, we use our constant color, which is black color. And we see warning because we have to import our constant color. And when we press this, it will go to our color constant file, which is this. And let's see. Alright, look like this. And the next one is for our second text widget. So we use Google font again, and we use Inter font again. And for the size, we set it to be 30. And for the font weight, we set it to 700. And for the color, we use black color again. Alright, look like this. Item right. And below that, we can use list view, which is horizontal list view. So below of our padding, we can use container, and for the height, we set it to 199, and for the child, we use listview.builder, and for the item builder, we use context and index. And we have to return something, and we have to return content again. Don't forget to provide semicolon. And the other properties that we have to call is item count. And for the item count, we can call cards.length. And what inside this card.length? This kind of like our card model. And in this section, I have provided two dummy data. And let's close it. And the other one is scroll direction. And we say axis horizontal. And for our padding, only left 16 and for the right 6. And inside our container, we can set like height, and for the height 199 and for the width 344. And we call decoration and we use spoke decoration again. And inside this spoke decoration, we can set like border radius, and for the radius we set to 28. And for the color, we use color index and cards index dot card background. Alright, so as we can see, we have two files, and the next one is we can give margin, and for the margin only right 10. Alright, so we have a little margin, item right, and next one is child properties, and for the child we use stack widget. Why we use stack widget? Because I want to place many widgets inside that, like this, and many more. So if we use stack widget, we can call children, and inside this children, we can call many widgets inside that. And the first widget is position, and inside this position widget, we can set like child, and for the child, we use SVG picture dot assets, and we call our assets, which is card index dot card element top. And now we see, and for the default, the position is left 0 and top 0. Alright, and below that we use position widget again, so we can use many position widget inside that. And for the child, we use SVG picture asset again, and for that we use card index element bottom. And for the position, we can set like bottom 0 and then right 0, and it will be placed here, item right. And below that, we can use position widget again, and we use text widget, and for the text, card number, and for the position, we set it to be left 49 and top 65. Alright, as we can see. And for the style, we use Google Font, Inter, and for the size, we set it to be 14, and for the font weight, we set it to be 400, and for the color, we use white color. And we can duplicate this, paste here, and for the position, we can set like 29, and for the top 65, and this is 29, and this is 48. Alright, and for the text, we can call card index and then card number. Alright, and for the style, we can change text size to be 20, and for the weight, set it to 700. Alright, and below of our position widget, we use position again, and for the child, we use image.assets, and for the image, we can call card index.card type. So we see master card logo. And for the position, we can set for the left, I think not left, I think right. And for the right, 21. And for the top, we set it to be 35. Alright. And for the width, we set it to be 27. And for the height, 27. Alright. Awesome. And again, we use position widget again. And for the child, we use text widget. And for the text, we say card holder name. Alright, and for the position, we set left 49, and for the top, I think bottom 45. Alright, I think not 49, I think 29. Alright, and for the style, we use Google Font again, and for the font size 14, and for the font weight 400, and for the color, white color. Alright, so I think we can duplicate this and paste below that. And for the position, for the bottom, we set it to 21. And for the text, we use CRUD index.user. Alright, and for the size, set it to, I think, 20. And for the weight, set it to 700. Alright, awesome. And I think we can duplicate these two widgets. And for the position, we set it to be for the left 202 and for the bottom 45 and this 202 and for the bottom 21. And for the text, we set it to cut expired, and for this expire time, I think expiry date. Alright, awesome. So we have finished for our cut section. I think it's simple enough. So below of our cut section, this kind of like row widget with two widgets. The first widget is text widget and the second widget is for our indicator. And I think we can place below of our container. So right here, give comma right here. And for that, we use row widget. And inside this row widget, we can call children. And for the children, we use text widget. And for the text, let's say operation. Let's see. And we can wrap our row widget with padding. And for the padding, only left. For the left, 16. And for the right, I think not right. I think bottom, 13. And for the top, 29. Alright, and the next widget is container. And for the container, we can wrap our container with row widget again. And for the children, I think we don't use container. So for the children, we have to create new function. I think we can place it right here. I think let's give comment right here. And we use a list of the object. And we say map and we use list. So this we use for our indicator, which is we use list, and it will create for us as many items inside our list. Alright, so we back to our row widget, and for the children, we use map, and we use a map widget, and then we say datas, and index, and select it. And we see warning because we have to import our operation model, and inside that we can return container. So we see warning. I think we can remove this. Alright, and inside our container we can set like alignment, and for the alignment center left, and for the height we set it to be, let's say, 9, and for the width 9, and for the decoration we use box decoration, and for the shape we use box shape dot circle, and for the color we use, before that we have to create new variable. And right here, let's say current selected, we use integer, current we set it to 0. And we back to our box decoration, and for the color current, and if current is equal with index, so we set our color to be blue color, and if not selected, we use the second color, let's say this one. Alright, and for the margin we set it to be only right 8. So we see 3 items, and we go to our row widget, and for the main axis alignment, space between. Alright, so I think we can give padding right here, right 16. Alright, look awesome. Not 16, I think 8. Alright, so for the next is this one. It's kind of like horizontal list view again, but this can select it. Okay, before that, I think we have to give style for our text widget. So we go to right here and we say style and we use Google font again, and we use interfont. And for the size, we set it to be 18, and for the weight, we set it to be 700, and for the color, we use black color. Alright, look like this. It's more pretty good. So the next is for our horizontal list view again. So outside of our row widget and below of our padding, we say container, and for the height, we set it to 123, and for the child, we use list view dot builder, and for the item builder, we use context and index. Alright, and for the another properties is scroll direction, and we use axis dot horizontal, and the other one is item count, and for the item count, we say datas dot length. So this is, it's kind of like model again, and for the padding, we say only left 16. Alright, and right here we have to return something, and what we want to return right here is operation card, and we see warning because this widget haven't yet exist, so we have to create new widget, and we create new stateful widget, and we name it as operation card. Alright, and for that we have to create some variable like operation, and the second one is selected icon, and the next is unselected icon, and the next is boolean, which is selected to check whether our item in our list view is selected or not. And I think we have to create for variable, but we set it to be final. And again, we say right here operation card, and we say this operation, this selected icon, this unselected icon, and the last but not least, this is selected. Alright, and we scroll to here, and for that we have to return container, and inside this container we can set like margin, and for the margin only right, and for the right 16, and for the width 123, and for the height 123, and for the decoration we set to be a box decoration, and for that we can set like a box shadow, and for the box shadow we use a box shadow to give shadow effect, and for the color we use black color, and for the blur radius we set it to be 10, and for the spread radius 5, and for the offset we set it to be for the y-axis 8.0, and for the x-axis 8.0, and for the y-axis 8.02. Alright, and the other one is we have to say border radius, and as usual we use circular, and we set it to be 15, and for the color we set it to, we check is selected, so if selected we set it to be blue color, and if not selected we set it to be white color, as simple as that. And we have to give another properties which is child, and for the child we use column widget. Why we use this column widget? Because we have to add two items inside that. The first is for icon, and the second one is for our text widget. So inside our column widget we have to say children, and inside that we can set we can provide svg picture.assets, and for the item widget is selected, so we want to change. If our widget is selected, we set our icon to be is selected, and if not selected we set it to be is unselected icon. So the logic is simple. So if our widget is selected, we set our SVG picture to be white color, and if not selected we use unselected icon which is a blue color. So I save two icon inside our assets folder. The first one is white color, and the second one is blue color. This is when our widget is not selected, and this is when our widget is selected. As simple as that. I hope we can understand this easily. So below that we can give size box to give like a little margin. So we see they have little margin, and for the height we set it to at least 13. Okay, not 13. I think it's around 9. And the next widget is text widget. And for the text thing, okay. And for the text, we say widget operation. And for the text align, we set it to center, because as we can see, our text align center. And the next one is style. And for our style, we say Google Fonts again, and we use enter. And for the size, we set it to be 15. And for the weight, we set it to be 700. And for the color, we say again, if selected, we set it to be white color. And if not selected, we set it to be blue color. So we see error. So I think we have to use not alignment, but we use text align. Okay. Alright. So we have finished declare custom widget, which is we name it as operation card. So we back to our container, which is inside our list view.builder, and inside our operation card, we say right here, inside our operation card, we can set the first properties is operation. And for the operation, because we have declared it as string, it means that we can pass our string data to our operation properties. So we say right here, datas, and then index, and what we want to show is name. Alright, and the next one is selected icon. And for the selected icon, we can call our data, which is selected icon. So this kind of like list of selected icon. And for the unselected icon, we say datas, index, unselected icon. And for the is selected, we say current index. And for the context, we use this. So we see error because I think we have forget. So we can say right here. So we have to say right here, I think home screen state context, and right here we can say this context. Alright, and we back to our container, and I think okay, it's fixed. Okay, we see error, so we have to say the bool is not type, is not a subtype of type string. So I think okay, so let's try to wrap our operation card with gesture detector, and inside our gesture detector we can call onTap properties, and inside our onTap we set state, and for that we say current equal with index. So we have to restart. Okay, still error. So let's see what's why this error. Alright, so I think we use selected icon right here. Alright, it's fixed. So we have 3 items, and when we press for every item inside our list view, our indicator has changed. So let's see, press this. Alright, so let's fix this to be center. So we go to our operation card, and for the column we have to say cross axis alignment, and for that we say center, and the next is main axis alignment, center again. I hope this will be fixed. Alright, awesome. And I think it's similar with the design. So I think we can reduce the margin. So we have to go to container, which is for our indicator, and I think right here, let's say 4. Alright, 4 or 6 I think 6. And alright, it means we have to increase our padding to be 10, because we want to make it to be symmetric left and right, because 10 plus 6 equal with 19. Why we use 10 and 6. Alright, look like this. And for the next is the last but not least is for our transaction histories. So I think to make it same with the design, we have to remove this S. Look like this. Alright, so the next is for our operation, and for that we can simply duplicate our padding, copy that, and we paste below of our container. So I think we can give comment right here to make our code to be more readable. Operation section. So let's see in the previous CRUD section, operation section, and the last is transaction section. Alright, we paste here, and we have to remove, I think we have to cut this text, and we have to remove our row widget, and we have to paste our text widget here. And let's see. Alright, and we have to change to transaction histories. Alright, awesome. And below that, what we have to do is, let's say we want to use list_view.builder, and for the item count, we say transaction.length, and for the padding, we say only left 16, right 16 again, and I think enough, left and right. And for the string web, we have to set to be true, not this true. And again, for item builder, we set it to context and index, and we have to return something. What we have to return is, we want to return a container as usual, because this widget is very flexible. So, and for the height 57, and for the width 57, and I think just height. And for the margin, we set it to be only bottom, we set it to be 13, and for the padding, we say only left 24, and then top 12, and bottom 12, and right 32. Alright, and the next is decoration. We use box decoration, and inside that we can set like a border radius, circular, and for that we use 15. And for the box shadow, we can copy from the previous, which is on the here, and paste right here. Let's see. Alright, nothing's appear because we haven't yet set the color. And for the color, inside our box decoration right here, for the color, white color. Alright, we see 3 items, 1, 2, 3, because inside our transaction model we have 3 items. Alright, and below of our decoration we set child, and for our child we use row widget. So we need to break down our layout. Why we use row widget? Because we want to place our widget horizontally. So inside our row widget, I want to separate this to be 2 widgets. This first widget, and this is second widget. So this kind of like row widget again, and inside this row widget we have text widget and column widget. So let's do that. And for the children, and as I mentioned before, we use row widget, and inside this row widget we can say container, and for our container we can set like height 57, and for the width 57. So I think for our this we set it to 76. Alright, and another properties is decoration again, and we use box decoration, and inside this box decoration we can say image, and for our image we set it to decoration image. So we say assets image, and for the assets file we set it to transaction index dot photo. So let's see, we have 3 items with 3 photos, and we can select here for the shape inside our box decoration. For the shape, box shape dot circle, and below that, below of our container, we can give size box, and for the width we set it to be 13, and this is the first widget, and we give little margin using size box. And for the right we use column widget, and inside that the first widget is text, and for our text widget we say transaction index and name. Alright, and the second one is transaction, index, and date. Alright, and for the cross-axis alignment, we set it to be start. Alright, so let's try to make it to be center. Alright, and we can give style as usual, Google Fonts, and for the size, we set it to be 18, and for the weight, we set it to be 700, and for the color, we set it to be black color. And again, for our date, style, Google Fonts, and for the style, we set it to be 15, and for the weight, we set it to be 400, and for the color, we set it to be gray color. So as we can see, alright, it's awesome. So the next is for our amount. So I think below of our row widget, we say again, row widget again, and inside that, we use children, and inside this children, we say text, and for that, we say transaction index dot amount. So we see, and we give style using Google Fonts, and for the size, we set it to be 15 again, and for the weight, we set it to be 700, and for the color, we use blue color. Alright, so we have to make our amount to be on the right side, so we have to say right here, inside our row widget, we say main axis alignment, space between. Boom. I think, yes, that's pretty much beautiful, pretty much good. Let's see and compare with the design. Yes, I think it's not perfect, but it's similar. So I think we can modify the box shadow, and we can modify like margin, and I think this one it's bigger than this, but yes, I think it's similar with the design, and we can customize as we want. So I want to say thank you for the designer for making this, so I can learn many concepts from this. So I think our content is pretty much bad, so we have to say right here. So we go to our scaffold, and for the body, we have to say we have to wrap our container with safe area. Alright, so yes, I think it's pretty much good than before. So I think that's enough my video today. If you have any questions or comment, write it down on the comment field. And if you want to download this source code, link in the description below. And if you think my content is useful, you can give me donation, link in the description below. Thank you so much, and see you again on the next video.